everyone, Tammy here. Welcome to my bookshelf, and today it's more about Colleen Hoover. I finished both these books, so here I am to tell you what I think about them. These are fairly recent titles of hers. This chick cranks out the novels like you would not believe. She's very prolific. Okay, so the first book is called It Ends With Us. So this is this is the sequel to this book, all right? So It Ends With Us. Trigger warning, there is some quite a bit of content here related to domestic abuse. And so that might be something that I would say, if it's going to bother you, do not read either one of these books, okay? If you can get past that, I feel like Hoover really did a wonderful job, for the most part, talking about a very sensitive and complex topic in her books. And we have the main character, Lily Bloom, in fact. So Lily Bloom grew up in an abusive household. She herself was never physically abused by her father, but he did abuse her mother, and so she saw her mother go through all that. And she tells herself, I'm not my mother, that'll never happen to me, you know, yada, yada, yada. And of course, you realize that, obviously, that's going to happen to her. And it's most people have an understanding that, yes, ma'am, Chanel says, most people have an understanding that it can be a cycle, right? So this character, Lily, breaks the cycle. Spoiler, I mean, I guess you were going to know that anyway. But yeah, I thought it was a very good book. I ended up giving it 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. I should mention that I am active on Goodreads, so if you ever want to read any of my written reviews, head on over there. I typically write short reviews for whenever I finish a book. And all right, so the pros and cons of this one, I would say the cons for me were, I felt like some of the way the supporting characters were introduced in this was a bit contrived. There's one character in particular who turns into her BFF, who just happens to show up at an opportune time. It just, and in fact, the meeting, the cute meet, okay, of her and her love interest in this also seemed a bit contrived. And typically I'm okay with that, but I felt like it could have been done a little bit better in this. As far as the pros go, definitely a hard book to put down. Lots of emotional drama going on, a really gripping story. And obviously you may have heard that this particular title is going to turn into a movie starring Blake Lively, and I could see this as a movie for sure. I think it would be a really wonderful movie, and I look forward to seeing it. So It Starts With Us is the sequel to It Ends With Us, and this continues the story of Lily Bloom and Atlas, who also is introduced in the first novel. Atlas is an old boyfriend of hers way back from when she was a teenager. And again, sort of a contrived thing, but they do meet again, okay? And Atlas is a wonderful character. You can't help but love this man. He's also been through a lot of trauma in his life, but the two of them, work through it. Again, lots of family drama going on in here, and it really tells their story. And this one actually has an alternating point of view between Atlas and Lily. So to me, this one is more of a romance, tend to be more romance novel versus this first one. This one is I would say not a romance novel. Not that there's not romance going on, but it's not really the right kind, I guess you could say. So anyway, I really enjoyed both these books. I also gave this 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. So yes, I definitely recommend both these titles, especially if you are a Colleen Hoover fan, and you, like I said, you're okay with the discussion of domestic abuse that's going on in them. If you aren't a Colleen Hoover fan, maybe have you never read any of her books? I don't know. You might want to check these out. They both stand alone, I will add. Like, you don't necessarily have to have read this one to understand this one, but it does add quite a bit to the experience of reading this if you've read this first. Same thing, you could read this one and not have to read the sequel, but of course, if you do enjoy it and you really liked Lily and Atlas, then you're probably going to want to read the other book. So, all right, thank you for stopping by to see what's on my bookshelf. I appreciate a thumbs up, a subscription, and your thoughts down below in the comments. Bye-bye.